When we think about working for an employer, the world of work has gradually, steadily changed over the last several decades to the point that a work life cycle is unrecognizable today compared to what it was before. You know, if you go back to let's go back to 1980, which may seem to you like prehistoric era, but in human history, it's not even a blink. People historically would go to work for one company, and if that company was successful, you tended to be there your entire working lifetime at a single company. And that has gradually changed over the decades since 1980 to the point that employers don't expect us to stay a long time, and we think a long time at a job is 2 years or more. That's like an eternity. And so people tend to have many, many, many different jobs. As I've said on multiple occasions, pensions are no longer a big part of the planning equation for work because we're portable, employers rent us, we move on, and that's why the 401k has become the dominant way that people save for retirement. But it was kind of an afterthought and not really thought out for the way people work today. And so it's kind of a mess with changing jobs a lot. You may have a 401k somewhere, you leave, and then the 401k is left behind. If you have less than a certain amount of money, usually less than $5,000 in there, you don't do anything, the worst possible thing will happen. They'll cash you out of it, send you a check, you'll pay a huge tax bill, and you don't have any money saved for retirement anymore. Or you'll have enough money in there, you leave the job, you leave it behind, and over the years you move a lot of times, you lose track of that 401k, you get disconnected from it, and who knows if you'll ever be reunited anytime in your lifetime. Because when you start thinking about how many jobs people may have per decade now, people typically will have more jobs in a decade than people ever had in a whole working lifetime not that long ago. So it's a massive problem for the country's future, individuals' retirement, what are they going to live on? And also it's a paperwork nightmare for everybody. So the two biggest players in 401k plans, Vanguard and Fidelity, these absolutely arch rivals, have gotten together in a business venture with some other smaller players. It's called Portability Services Network. And starting in January, when you leave a place of work, huge percent of people in the country will be covered by the services of Portability Services Network. You will then find that your 401k will automatically move for you from your old employer to your new if both the old employer plan and the new plan are enrolled members in the Portability Services Network. This is a huge improvement. It doesn't take us to where I thought we should be, which is retirement plans should be yours at wherever you work, and your employer can provide a match as they wish, but the money is not in the employer's hands. It's in whatever financial house you choose to have your personal retirement account. In other words, I would eliminate the current system of having this whole alphabet soup with people who work for nonprofits being these crummy 403Bs, people who work for for-profit companies have 401ks, you work for yourself, you got SEPs and you got solos and you got simples, and then on your own you can do various versions of an IRA, Roth, traditional, non-traditional. The alphabet soup, people got busy lives. We need to have a system that acknowledges and recognizes the present, the way work works today. And I don't know when our political class in Washington will recognize the reality of how difficult our current system makes it for people. But in the meantime, the marketplace looks for solutions. And this clearinghouse, retirement clearinghouse that has the Portability Services Network, will make things a lot easier for people. And it will, even though it will only cover, I guess, half of retirees starting in January, half of workers in January, over time, this will become a common practice, and it will prevent this horrific cashing out that's happening. Because a path to a secure retirement does not begin with cashing out a retirement plan that you have to pay penalties and taxes on, and then your total save for retirement goes from whatever you had down to zero, starting all over again.